All right, welcome back. So some top players over the last week or so have talked in Street Fighter V about what their top 5 lists are, their top 5 character selections, and there have been some different results of that. You know, not everybody has had the same list. Just to briefly go over what they have said.
Right.
Sako said that he thinks Guile is number 1. All right,
only S tier character.
Above everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, Boxer, Dictator, that is to say, Balrog and M. Bison.
Yeah.
And then Laura and Rashid. Nemo said Guile, Urien, Dictator, Zangief, Nekali.
Yeah.
Filipino Champ said Guile, Urien, Cammy, Nekali, Laura. Kachi Tagari TV, Bonchan, etc. said Rashid, Ibuki, Cammy, Guile, and Laura. So there are definitely some repeat characters in there, but each one of those lists has like so many, some different things.
Okay. I mean, like, okay, well, let me ask what your guys' opinions on the top 5 are right now.
Okay.
No order in particular.
Okay.
Like, so David, what's your top 5 currently?
Come back to me in 2 seconds. Why don't you go first?
Sure. I think mine is Cammy, Guile. I think Guile is super powerful. And then probably after that, Urien. Maybe Laura. And the last one is hard to pick.
Last one is hard to pick, yeah.
Maybe Rashid or Balrog. Those like 2 characters. Oh, did I say Nekali?
No.
No, then Nekali. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Nekali.
And you said exactly the same list that I have.
Really?
Wait, did you say... So mine is Cammy, Guile, Urien, Laura, and Nekali?
Yeah.
That's the same list.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
What about yours?
I think Urien.
Okay.
Urien.
I had him at my 3rd character.
I was joking. Urien, if not Guile first, Cammy. Well, first Guile, Urien, Cammy, Balrog,
And who's
Laura.
tied? Which 3 characters are tied for the last?
Yeah. Who else you got there?
It's pretty clear.
I mean, I have the same 5 pretty much. So
Yeah?
it's Guile, Cammy, Laura, Balrog, and Urien. Those are my top 5.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are my top 5.
Okay.
So the interesting ones to me are that.
Yeah, the Japanese players lists are where I think there's a lot of more fluctuation.
Yeah, for example, 2 of them have M. Bison, the Dictator, on there.
Which actually makes me super happy. So. Because I play him. I thought he was super good in season 1, right? I know a lot of people.
I did week 1, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you tweeting about it.
I was so happy at the start.
You're like, dash around Roundhouse, Bison's unstoppable.
Yeah.
But you didn't realize it was actually Street Fighter's netcode.
Yep, that's a big part of it, no doubt.
Yeah, but season 2, I think he's like I can't see a valid reason yet why he's not super good.
I think he's certainly stronger, but I have trouble saying that the other characters on my list or other people's lists are not stronger than he is. So some people say him. There are some Rashids that have been mentioned.
Yeah.
And then
Zangief.
most wild to me is definitely including Zangief on that list.
Yeah, Nemo has him up there.
The interesting part is I feel like, because I know like even like the Topanga guys, Daigo, or Beast TV guys, I should say, Daigo and them are very high up on Zangief. Like, is Inazan just like completely traumatizing all of them?
His rank has gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, he's
this
like
season.
8th or 9th or something.
Yeah, he's master rank youth. But to me, the most interesting thing is I feel like generally when you see Japanese players tier lists, their tier lists are more emotional than Western tier lists. Like to me, I feel like a lot of Western players try to look at like the game broadly, but when I look at Japanese players tier lists, a lot of times it's who they struggle with, or who like whatever player is doing super well over there. They just pick that character and not necessarily like looking at the game in a broader sense.
I see.
I think that's just tier list in general.
Like I've watched, well, not always, but I've watched a lot of Nemo footage. Man, he gets dunked by Geef. That guy like never gets Zangief, and then
Remember
like he has the character
in
super
Ultra
high.
Street Fighter 4, he had Geef top 5.
Yeah. He had like a similar issue.
Yeah, don't you remember like we said that was wrong, and then he actually like tweeted or had an interview about us or something. He was like, they don't understand the game.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that character was not top 5.
I think
BTW.
Yeah, I think Nemo has like an issue with that character because
He could have a
stylistically.
Dude, I totally can see the stylistic
Stylistically,
problems.
I think that's a big problem character for him. Because I watch him play Urien against Scary. He's like dash forward, dash back, fireball,
He is
up
so
to blah blah.
mobile
And then like
nonsensical.
Itabashi's like, and it
Pow.
crush counters him every time. And I'm just
Right.
like, what are you doing, bro? You're
I
just
don't
going
know,
nuts.
I feel like Nemo is such a strong player, and I don't know what he's doing a lot of the time. I'm not sure
But
why
I
he's
mean,
being...
like Daigo, like I said,
He's good. I don't know why,
Daigo
though.
and Fudo and all those guys were also talking. Like I said, they were
Saying
talking
that
about
Geef
how
is
strong
good.
Geef is really.
Yeah,
So-
look, I think Geef is definitely a better character, and it's nice for him that the characters who are strong, like, look at the characters who have come up on lists a lot. He loses to a lot of them, actually, but Laura, yeah, he does pretty well.
Boxer.
Cammy is pretty even. Boxer's pretty even, I would say. Maybe a slight advantage, Geef.
What about Dictator?
That's true.
Geef, yeah, probably slight advantage over Dictator, I would say personally. That said, I definitely think he loses to Urian and Guile and Nikali and Rashid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he has certainly some bad matches still. So
Yeah, I think the
I don't know,
knockdown,
man.
the
Seems
knockdown
pretty good,
pressure.
but like not top 5.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, if I had to pick the characters like right outside of where my top 5 is, that's where like I have Boxer and Rashid,
Agreed.
and then like Karen, Chun.
Yeah, Karen. Yeah, Chun is in there for sure.
A
Still.
lot of powerful characters in there. But yeah, like
Ibuki, I would say.
Ibuki is good. I think she's like solid.
What do you
too.
think about Ken right now?
I think Ken is pretty
Good
good,
character.
but probably below those characters I just mentioned. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the fighting the top tier in the season is very important though. I think as a character, fighting the top tier is really good because a lot of those are very popular characters.
I actually thought what K-Brad was saying today during one of the interviews actually made a lot of sense. Because you know how they're saying, like, Street Fighter V, they're trying to emphasize the neutral. But Street Fighter 4, it was just so much easier to get back into the neutral because you had so many defensive options, right? Do you feel like more neutral is being played in Street Fighter 4 than Street Fighter 5, or do you think it's less?
Not markedly different, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, I'd say about the same.
Yeah, I feel like the game's more scrambly than Street Fighter 4, but like less knockdown scenarios, more scramble, similar amount of neutral.
Yeah.
So like that's the way I look at it. Like so you traded knockdown scenarios in Street Fighter 4 and scramble, and then you just kind of like did this.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But I feel like that works out better for more of the scramble situation than the...
I'd rather have scramble than like just set play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scramble's your thinking.
I mean, they did a really good job of varying up their characters, especially for characters that they thought will return and have the Vortex knockdown situation. Characters like Akuma, characters like
very
Ibuki.
They
Yeah,
thought
maybe.
those characters were going to be like full-blown Vortex, but I feel like
Yeah.
the most textbook of this Vortex is Cammy, only because of like her walk speed and her neutral control. So it's like, I think she's more of a Vortex character than any one of those other characters, and it benefits the scramble in that
Yeah,
situation.
her knockdown off drill is like one of the only times where
Right.
characters can just hit you, knock you down, keep it
Right.
the
Like
pressure.
you can't even
Awesome.
lay there on the grip. She gets a throw, like, and not you don't want to get to the corner, so you're always gonna be like, oh, I'll just take the guess. You know
That's
what
the
I'm saying?
reason why, like, I'm not sure if I agree with that. It's just because off of her throw in the corner, she doesn't get anything.
She
much
doesn't
like
get
a lot
anything,
of
but she
other
gets to
characters.
walk
She
up.
can still meet you.
I feel like her throw is so good because she's so good at building gray damage.
Yeah.
So the threat of throw from her, I feel like, is bigger
the
than
threat.
most people. Even
Oh,
though
man.
it doesn't lead to like a vortex situation, it's just the fact that like if she's been in close, she did like a roundhouse and a strong, and then maybe a fierce afterward, and now I have like this chunk.
And then she
Yeah.
can just
That I gotta
walk
worry
back and
about.
wait for you to try
And
to
she-
retaliate.
That's going to be there for the next 10, 15
Her
seconds.
neutral is so good that like if you go back to it, it doesn't really matter, right? She
Right.
has great approach and
Oh, yeah,
great
yeah,
ground
I mean,
options.
that's
That's
her
why we
strength.
see these players. We see Myers. We see K.
But that's
walking in and out of
that's
that
why
range.
I don't know if I consider her a vortex character. I consider her a neutral strong character.
I think
like,
I
Her
mean,
knockdown
certainly on
pressure
hit.
is some of the best.
Yeah, if she finds hits, then she gets great pressure with the
Because
drill.
she has an
it's
easier
It's only
time.
the drill though. That's
Right.
the
But a
only.
lot of
But
combos
they always
going
do the
drill.
drill
Yeah.
until they're in the corner.
Right.
But like yeah, she has easier time meeting off of like a knockdown than almost anybody else. Like Urian tackle, he doesn't have a lot of real meaties he gets off
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
But Cammy can actually get meaties off of every drill.
It's more like that. I completely agree with you. It's more the threat of her getting that throw after she's built all this damage, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's why like she scares so many other players because
Yeah.
they don't want to get thrown. So you see those players going and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You think I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
throw you?"
Dude, like
Wait,
it was so
Everybody,
funny.
wait a second. Can we look at the Japanese players tier list and see if any of them had Cammy in top 5? Because I don't think either
No,
of
they
them
don't.
did. I
They
don't
don't.
think any of them had Cammy.
No,
in
that
top
was
5.
one of the things. They don't have Cammy in top 5.
Kachidagari TV, Bonchan, Cammy.
Cammy.
I did-
But,
I did-
but
I did see
Sako, does
Bonchan's
Sako have
list.
it?
Sako does not, and neither does Nemo.
No Cammy in top 5
That's
for either of
interesting.
those.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
I
to
think
me.
that's so surprising, man.
Right?
I read that a while ago, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
these guys
I remember
don't have
thinking
Cammy.
that this morning.
Yeah.
I feel like it just might be a situation that because she is not like this, like, oh, V trigger, oh my god, mix up, you die. Like, she doesn't she doesn't drive the salt as badly as some of the other characters.
For sure,
do,
yeah.
know?
Losing to Guile, you're just like, well, I jumped over a Sonic Boom and got a flash kick. That's fine. But you lose to Urian, and you're like, this son of a bitch, mirror EX tackle,
exactly.
dirty son of a gun.
Like, you're watching like Smug today, right? It's like, hey, you have all your life. Oh, I touched you, V-trigger, you died.
Yeah.
Because now you're just scared to do anything, and then he just throws you.
I feel like Balrog does that to any character, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like at any point in time that character gets triggered, like it's an X factor. It's like, well, if you block something, I'm gonna get at least 2 guesses to push you to this corner, kill you or stun you. 3 great positions to be in. Like, I mean, come on.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
He's strong. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, the top 5 from Japanese players is very interesting. I feel like their views on Street Fighter have always, or like any tier list, are always very different from the West.
They've always been different.
Yeah, people
they've always valued things differently. And it's not just, I wouldn't say the West in a blanket statement, because sometimes Europe has different tier lists than we do.
No, honestly, Cammy not being in most of those lists is probably maybe the most blatant.
That's surprising.
Thing.
Yeah, like Nemo has Geef in top 5, but not Cammy. Right?
Yeah, that does make sense because
a
lot of people believe Cammy destroys Geef.
Well,
I feel like that's pretty even this time.
But I mean, honestly, like I know you don't agree with this necessarily, Steven, but like I feel like Urian's really good against Cammy, so I don't think that he probably doesn't have that fear necessarily.
Maybe.
So.
That's why I say I'm old school. I feel I'm one of those people that I look at tier lists and I'm like, this is opinion based to the fact that they're not used to it.
But so it's fun to talk about.
It's fun to talk about. I take it with more of a grain of salt than most. Like I look at it and I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything because I would want to talk to this person about that rather than just say yay or nay.
Someone is saying that one of the reasons why they may justify Cammy not being in top 5 is because Japan right now only has Kazunoko doing well with Cammy, and like they don't really have anybody else.
But he got like top 3 at whatever the last but that Capcom Cup, and then the character got buffed.
Who knows? I mean,
you
remember hearing the Japanese people talk about Kazunoko? They talk about him like he's a nut, right? Yeah. So that they could be doing that kind of thing. Yeah,
because remember at the start of the game they thought Necalli was the best character because none of them could beat Haitani. They're like, this character is for sure the best. Like I think their tier lists are very emotional. It's like based on if you look at their tier list, it's whoever's winning right now in Japan.
I don't know why people think Geef beats Cammy. I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah, I don't really think that.
People talk about that a lot of times.
I never thought that in Season 1, and I don't think that's
I think Cammy wins, and in this game, I think Cammy has a slight advantage against Zhang. Yes, it's hard, but the mere fact that she has an actual anti-air uppercut makes that fight a little bit harder for you.
She has good pressure too and buttons.
I think it's pretty even myself.
Yeah.
But it is important that Geef does fine against Laura and Boxer and
I think that brings back an element.
I feel like Urian is not terrible for him. I feel like he loses, but it's not.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
It's that whole thing again where a character can be viable if their bad matchups are ones that can't beat anybody else. It's that weird.
That's a Street Fighter thing. Yeah. It's like a super Street Fighter thing.
If your character is terrible against everybody but Chun-Li, and everybody in the tournament's playing Chun-Li but you have the best chance of winning. It's just one of those things.
On the other side of it, because so many people play Chun-Li, if you had a character that beat everyone but just got destroyed by Chun-Li, you would have no success in tournaments because you just end up fighting them all the time, right? So
Geef still gets crushed by Dhalsim, but that's not that important.
It's really not. Him. Yeah. I mean, like I said, and it's definitely one of the things that people always go back to when they say, you can't run one character and win Street Fighter. Now, I feel like that's less true now.
It is less true now.
It's less true now, but I feel like the more that the game gets rounded out, I feel like it's going to go more towards those. If this player picks this character, then you have to pick this character to stand a better chance. Or you have to round out that matchup. Because if you don't, it's going to go exactly how it's going to go.
Look at what Dude's doing. It's multiple characters.
He has to. There's no way.
Yeah. One of the characters, I mean, obviously it's really good, but we haven't talked a lot about, I mean, there's definitely arguments on Twitter. I see people making fun of Javits all the time and stuff like that. What about Laura? Like, how good do you think she is?
She's really good. I don't think, and I've been saying this from the beginning of Street Fighter V. Laura was never bad. Not even once was she's bad.
I thought she was bad at the start.
I never thought she was bad personally. But now I just think that I think now, I said this. I said what's going to happen is she's going to escape with everybody else. I said this from the beginning. I was like, what's going to happen? Season 2 is going to drop. They're not going to mess with Laura that much. And all these other characters are going to get buffed. But Laura's going to be up there because nobody's going to know anything about the character.
She's a scary character to change. Like, you can change such small things about her and she becomes so dominant.
Exactly.
So, she was definitely a tough one.
I think the problem, like, she's so powerful because hitting her claps, the fireballs, those things are impossible to low hit.
Well,
like it's supposed to be easy to low profile and hit her, but it's like
depends
you
on
have to know the move.
You know how many times I saw when K-Rad was playing Wolfgrown, I was doing the match analysis, and like he starts to charge up the fireball, so K-Rad walks up and hits low forward, the fireball hits him, and then he does Fierce, the calm off of it, EX, up thing. And it's like hella damage.
Okay, so here's the thing. With Cammy, it has to be sweep.
Yeah.
It's like the only time sweep is useful is the only move that gets under it. Because I will
crazy.
say this about Cammy's crouching medium kick. Like, when I fight Urian, if he hits standing strong, that beats my crouching medium kick.
Yeah.
That thing, like, owns that for free. It just has a really bad high hurt box.
So, I guess this goes to the testament that Gal's a really good character. But if you go back and when you look at the match between Chris G and Wolfcrone, that exact same thing happened, and you know what he did? He swept. He did not. He didn't eat thunderclap pressure. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna go point blank? No, you're not. Trip dissipates. I keep my pressure." He did it multiple times, and when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, okay. Chris knows that that's all you need. It's not the only thing you need to get rid of."
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna say that, but it's one of those things that Laura needs to actually get going. I feel like that's Laura's like shortcoming. The fact that she's so momentum based in a lot of situations. Yeah, you know.
Well, the one thing about Laura, it's funny to me because a lot of people hate Laura, and I consider Laura to be the most Guilty Gear character of the game right now because you losing to Laura is going to be 80 to 90% of the time, like at mid levels, not at the highest levels, right? But at mid levels, you're losing to Laura is always going to be because you don't know the matchup and you don't know what all her options are. So that's what people say about Guilty Gear characters. Like, this is how you learn to defend against it because you just learn what their options are. So what Javits was trying to do was like, oh, okay, so she does this. Like, okay, if she does command throw, she can't do this. This is not real. This is real. But if she hits you with the follow-up on the bolt charge, this is it. If it's the heavy bolt charges, if it's a regular throw, you get and do this.
Well, I mean, people know that. Like, for example, at this tournament, Art, when he got knocked down by Wolfcrown, he did know that that she doesn't get a free dash in the button. So he pressed jab, right? Fine, he interrupts it. He gets out of that scenario. That said, he totally lost. I mean,
that's because Art just started changing the elbow. He was like, Wolfcrown just changed the elbow.
I mean, she has enough options that if you know, even if you know the solutions, I feel like she's still got it.
And not only that, but even if you know the matchup, 50-50s are still 50-50s. At the end of the day, like,
I don't think she has like legit. Like, I think her 50-50 comes into play like at basic level, but like I'm looking at like players like Crone, right? So it's like you're fighting him in the neutral, or you're attempting to, right? He's one of those players, him and Mike and Ike, the minute they add dash to that, you're just mind blown. You're like, well, now he's doing the V skill dash. What do I do now? And it's meant as it's a distraction tactic because you see him start moving. You're like, what's gonna happen now? And they're like elbow counter hit. And you're like, oh damn, I'm in it again.
There's too much to look out for. You're trying to look for fireball startup so you can low profile it. You're trying to look for V skill dash. You're trying to look for jump. You're trying to look for footsie buttons. Like all those things in one make her neutral super terrifying. Her mix ups are legit. Like you just have to guess.
Standing medium kick is the most ridiculous.
I think that like she's not gonna probably stay top 5 the whole time. That's my guess because I think people are gonna get used to stuff. And I also think that like it's not a 50-50 because you don't take equal damage or at equal setups because of different hits or the command grab. I would much rather eat the command grab a lot of the time. Different in V-trigger, but I'd much rather eat the command grab most of the time than taking like a significant hit, obviously. So,
the problem is that the command grab is usually what gets you stunned.
I feel like
in V-trigger is when you're
in trigger is different. But dude, the fact that she has crouching short jab into elbow,
that is too.
I feel like that was maybe a little bit overboard, but still, I feel like she is a good character that probably, in my view, won't end up top 5. No. But I feel like she is right now.
As she is now? Do you think if let's just say she goes unchanged now, do you think she would be top 5?
Like if this game lasts another year,
if they never change their
I feel like she will not ultimately be top 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think she is now.
I think the real juice of the character that people have figured out is definitely the clap pressure.
Yes.
Like the different timing and spacings of clap, so that if you try to hit a button to interrupt, heavy clap, then jab clap will hit you, and like stuff like that. That
is definitely good. She has good friends.
And she has just mix-ups for days.
And I think it's just the fact that like it's so easy for her to bait you to do something with clap out there, and like you're gonna panic anyway. And you're like, well, I'm not gonna take any of it. I'm just gonna backdash. She's like, that's cool. I'm just gonna V skill and hit you with this crush counter and get a mix up anyway. Yeah. Welcome to the party. And I feel like that's one of the main things. I completely feel like Laura's going to be easier to fight as the game progresses, but it's so much harder if you don't go in and look at the fact that, like we said, like you're going to look at these mix-ups and you're going to be like, well, crouch jab elbow. Like, oh, okay, cool. I know how to deal with that. But what if I knock you down and she just does dash elbow, then you freak out a second? You know how to deal with that. Fine. Knockdown, V skill, then I'm going to come in and do it. All it takes is one freeze.
I hear you.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think she'll always be good.
Well, so this is someone asked in the chat, and I think this is a valid question based off of some of the stuff that Hans was saying in a recent Reddit post. Do you think the game is going to get balanced before CPT starts?
Stand on it. Yes, I 100% stand on it.
I was 50-50 before. The fact that they brought up the fact that there could be a balance patch means to me it's 100% happening.
I knew the minute I played that game, I was like, this game is not releasing like this. No, I told everybody. I knew it.
I think, until I saw them say there could potentially be a patch, I was like 50-50. As soon as I saw them say there could maybe be, I was like, they're already working on it. Like that, to me, that is a for sure sign that it's happening.
I would think so.
Yeah, to me, that means that it's happening. Like,
I would think so.
That wording alone.
It's hard to imagine that, like, they're going to leave Fang as he is, because the character is a pile of butts.
Man, wouldn't it be something if they patched and he got nerfed again?
I wouldn't be too surprised.
Somebody said something to me about, I think somebody was telling me they were playing Akuma versus Fang, and they had no idea what to do. Like, Fang just beat him up. And I was like, huh? Like,
well, okay. To be fair, if you don't know how to fight Fang, like, once he gets next to you and you start blocking crouch medium kicks and towards roundhouses, if you're hitting buttons, you're going to die, right? I don't think David agrees.
I don't.
I
can't sit there.
I can't beat Fang. I actually have a really hard time fighting
against him.
Because I haven't played against him.
Well, let's play.
That's why.
Let's play.
So,
yeah. I actually think Fang does alright against Urian.
I don't believe you're even going to try. You just, let's play. I'll show you how bad this character is.
You know, I actually think his neutral.
It's like the one time we were playing ST, and I was like, Zangief doesn't do that bad against, like, not as bad against Cammy as, like, T-Hawk. And David's like, all right, and he played against someone else's Cammy, and he's, like, walking into everything on purpose. He's like, look how bad this is.
That's what he's going to do, man. I'm telling you. He's like, I'll show you, Fang. Watch this, James.
I actually think that...
KO. Like
that Fang's neutral's not that bad against Urian. But he just loses in everything else, so it doesn't matter. But his neutral's alright.
I don't know, man.
Urian definitely beats him. But it's, he can
throw
fireballs.
Do you think that if there is a patch, and I agree with you guys, I think it's likely to.
Yeah.
It's hella going to be a patch.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Do you think that characters like Urian and Laura and Boxer are going to get eaten? Do you think that they're going to get rolled up?
I hope they don't, but I feel like they probably will.
Of course, I hope that they will not.
Very small... put like this. In my personal opinion, this is what I think they should do. They should make very small changes to the people who are top tier. Unless they need
I just want buffs for other characters.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with making the game like this crazy thing.
It doesn't need...
It's a little too be-triggery, spastic.
Like, is Giles too crazy
right now?
Yeah, okay.
It's too much.
You think Giles too crazy? I think that, like...
I think Giles is too crazy.
I think if you give some characters a little love, then...
What would you do to nerf Guile? Because I already know what I would do to nerf Guile. What would you do to nerf Guile?
You could probably revert the V-trigger change, or make his booms not do full damage anymore.
Yeah.
Those are probably like two easy ones.
As well as the...
Because they buff the boom damage and the V-trigger, right?
Stand strong, crouching strong.
Oh, Jesus. Overhead. I think overhead kick is ridiculous.
Maybe make it...
I think overhead kick is crazy.
Make it so that upside down kick, jab combos, but not strong. That might be a better one.
Yeah. I mean, like, my idea was just make his flash kick take 2 more frames to charge. That's all I want to do to him. Because all that will happen is if you throw a sonic boom and someone jumps at you, most of the time you probably would be charged, but if you just put enough doubt in your head...
Just on the margins.
Then you can get in on him a little bit.
That's fine. I mean, I don't feel like anything is necessary. I don't feel like they're too crazy.
But I feel like for sure, Urian crouching medium kick won't be plus, and EX tackle will not be 0.
Yeah, I feel like this.
I
If they
feel like
made
that
EX
was
tackle,
for sure.
if they made
Should be
EX
the
tackle
case.
-1, maybe -2, do not let
I
this
think-
dude be in my grill the whole time. I'm sorry.
I think you just take 2 frames off both. You make crouching medium kick neutral, and you make EX tackle -2.
I'd be
I
okay
think
with
that's
that.
fair.
That's
I'd
fine. I mean,
be
it's
a
like
little
the
okay
easiest
with
way.
that.
I would
It's like the
also
easiest change.
probably make the EX tackle start up like 9 frames.
Yeah, not 7 frames. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
please.
the
Can
thing
I
about
jump,
it is,
please?
so both him.
I think to do that, you just make the vertical hitbox a little lower
That'd be fine.
instead
that's
of
true.
slowing
So
it.
Yeah.
between him and Balrog, like when they have V trigger, with punish is too powerful with their EX charge moves.
Yeah.
Yo, stand strong, EX charge, trigger. That's such a good whiff.
But I mean, like
Yeah,
not
it's
even
really
stand strong, just like walk, like you're just charged, and they're like miff a button, pow, and then you're dead, or pow, and you're dead with Balrog. Like
Yeah,
We
both
saw
those
that
are really
today.
good.
those-
Both those are really good.
We
Yeah.
saw
like
that
both of those
firsthand
need to be
today.
tweaked a
Again,
little
I mean,
bit.
I don't really want significant nerfs to them, but I
Yeah,
do expect it.
I just
Yeah.
I
want
think that
small
they're gonna get
things.
eaten up.
It's not like I'm not having fun.
I
with the
feel
game.
like that what'll happen is like even now, you know how Balrog started out everybody's like top 3, and now he's kind of drifting to the bottom of top 5s or maybe not top 5s, and then he's gonna get nerfed hella, and then everybody's gonna be like,
Agreed.
They don't need the nerf from hell. It's
Yeah,
like I'm not
I
one.
agree,
I'm
dude.
not
Yeah,
one of
no,
those
I
people
hope they
to say
don't- I
just
hope
destroy
they
the
don't.
But they're
character.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
But I
nerf
hope
them
they
enough.
don't. I hope they don't. I
hope they
really
don't
They're
either.
gonna revert the turnaround punch change. They're gonna make it so
Turnaround
that
punch
That's
is-
not bad.
Okay.
no,
Turnaround
I
punch
think
change is
turnaround punch
sick.
is so
I
sick.
think
It's like
it's
a
a
cool
sick
idea.
idea. Yeah,
it's
it's
turnaround
cool.
punch-
It's not just good. It's cool.
yeah.
I even felt this before Justin said it on the King of the Hill today, but there needs to be a visual cue of what level he's doing.
That'd be nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Because the thing is,
If you can't hear it, you don't know what level it is.
If
Yeah.
if I don't know, I feel like now that's a thing that if you put that in Street Fighter, you change the whole dynamic of Street. Like if at any point in time you look down there to verify anything other than meter, I feel like
no,
you
I
change
don't
that
want it
dynamic.
on there the whole screen, but when he lets go, like maybe different levels, he has different magnitude of flaming fist.
They're not.
You know, or
they're not
something
They're
like
not
that.
gonna-
You
yeah.
know,
That
but,
costs
like,
money to do.
Yeah, agreed.
That's
No,
definitely
I
not
think that
happening.
is actually the reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's too
yeah,
much. It's too much money.
Yeah,
It's
it's
too
too
much
much to do
money.
that. But yeah, I definitely expect that to be changed, and I would expect the damage to be lessened, and probably not a dragon punch motion anymore, flash kick. Like I just feel like they're just gonna take the
And
changes
please,
back.
Cut his arms off.
Please put some legs back on Nash too.
They might do that.
Yo,
Yeah,
give
they
my
might do
boy
that.
back the ability to walk.
Did you see
Jesus
Bonchan?
Christ, man?
Bonchan
Yo,
versus
Bonchan.
Nemo?
Yeah,
Bonchan
he's doing
was
well.
at least 5 times as good as Nemo as a player,
But I mean, look,
and he lost.
He beat him in the 2 out of 3, a 3 out of 5, and a first of 5.
I've been watching a lot
But
of
not a first
Bonchan
attempt.
Not a
matches.
first attempt.
yeah, but I mean, look, I mean that's.
I
like,
didn't understand. dude.
anything talking about Bonchan using Nash is like talking about Cien using Fong, right? Like no
I don't
no
know,
one
dude.
believes Fong is good, even though
I think-
9th place at Evo, 9th place
Yeah.
at CPT. Obviously, Fong is super good, right? I don't
The
know.
buffs to Nash are definitely under talked about, but
They are, and like now,
Yeah.
now after looking, I've legitimately been doing a lot of research on this because I wanted to see how they expect this character to be played. And looking at it, like I see Bonchan play, and I see where he's going. I see what that character needs to do. I know what they meant to do in his neutral. Like I look at this character, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But until you get about right here to right here, there's nothing.
I feel like they made him play more like a lot of other characters rather than having like the mobile zoner.
they just made his
Someone
pressure
said
better.
that Bonchan tweeted that all he said was just give me my dashes back.
Yeah,
Like-
dude, back medium kick +2. That's look. I'm
That's
telling you right
buff.
now, it's really not that bad. Like I'm playing this character, and I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. But there's certain situations
He's not unique anymore. It's just
He's
less
not.
interesting.
But one of the things they
And
did
worse.
give him that I did see Bonchan start to use, he uses hard kick scythe as an anti-air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really weird.
He also ends a lot of his combos, like he gets a big V-trigger combo where he's like fierce, boom, teleport, fierce, down fierce, medium punch, light kick, target combo,
Yeah.
because it keeps you
He ends up
standing and he has
ending
better
up-
advantage. And then he either does like throw low or like frame trap or
Yeah.
throw
And
bait.
also,
It's
like,
really good.
Yeah.
you could do like counter hit confirm in the standing medium punch now.
Yeah, counter hit back medium kick, same medium
No,
punch.
no,
Or the target combo.
it's like legit like crouching light kick. Standing medium punch, counter hit confirm, you get medium kick scythe off.
Right.
So it's like I saw him doing that, but the thing is about it, you use it as like, crouching light kick, standing medium kick. It didn't hit, boom.
Yeah.
It did hit, scythe.
Scythe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a very good player, but man, Urian's way better.
Anything else you
Anyway,
want to
those
say
characters
about
are getting nerfed.
the top?
Yeah, who cares, right?
Okay, and then the
they're gonna
other-
call Nash to the office. You have the ability
Yeah.
to walk again.
Yeah,
He's gonna
yeah.
Start crying. Oh my god! We found a way to make you walk again.
Yeah.
They'll
They just wheel that wheelchair over to Yuri. Yeah, so there you go. This is for you.
Yeah, they're gonna nerf Yuri, and I'll just jump to a new character.
Oh yeah, you know.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I also
I'm like,
hope,
oh,
I
you're
also
in?
hope
Who's
that
that?
they buff Ryu
Third strike
a little
character.
bit too.
Yeah, they'll probably buff Ryu a little bit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Ryu is in a sad state right now.
Anyway, assuming this happens, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to take a break or let's just jump on to the next few things?
Yeah,
probably
just
keep-
go to the next thing.
Yeah, we'll probably keep going, right?
All right.